This is my video submission for the contest that Larry Graves put out, the Canadian Studmuffin, of course, who I've been subscribed to for a while. And by the way, if he's watching, which he is, because let's face it, he has to watch this video in order for me to get submitted, so he forcefully has to watch all of the crazy stuff I'm about to do. But seriously, his videos about if you get sentenced to jail for a year and you got 2 stacks of CDs, like which one would you pick? Those videos are great. They're amazing. But I didn't make this video to butter him up just so that I could win the contest. No. I am entering this contest because it's very interesting. Make 5 double albums out of 2 single albums from bands that are very similar. Well, the same band, but 2 of their albums are very similar. So, this is for the Canadian Studmuffin, so I thought, what's the most Canadian band ever? And unfortunately, Maple Syrup is not a band. So then I thought, okay, we'll just do the next best thing. But hockey's not a band either, so I'm going with Rush. This album by Rush is going to be called Closer to the Heart, and it's going to consist of the albums A Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres. We're going to start off with side 1 is going to be side 1 of A Farewell to Kings, and side 2 will be side 2 of A Farewell to Kings. Side 3 will be side 1 of Hemispheres, and side 4 will be side 2 of Hemispheres, so it's basically the 2 albums back to back. Now, I chose this specifically because of the Cygnus X1 songs, and every time I'm listening to these 2 albums, I have to start the next one immediately after, because it's like, I gotta figure out what's gonna happen in the story. This 2 albums really just sound better as a double album, especially with the Cygnus X1. For the cover, I'm going to go with something completely new. I'm not a graphic design artist, so you're going to have to picture this with me for a second. But it's very similar to the actual Hemispheres album. There's a giant brain with the left and the right hemispheres, but this is what's different. You have Apollo standing on the left hemisphere and Dionysus on the right one, and you got like a bunch of Greek gods behind them, and in the middle you have the space traveler, and he's holding up a big heart that says balance on it. And so, Rush, Closer to the Heart is going to be my first double album. My second double album, let's go with some Led Zeppelin. I'm going to do Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 as one album, and the album is going to be called Communication Breakdown. We're going to keep the album cover from the first Led Zeppelin album, but add the words Communication Breakdown underneath Led Zeppelin in like really crazy block letters that are like exploding everywhere. That also kind of alludes to the fact that maybe the Zeppelin crashed because there was a communication breakdown. And the order of this album is going to be a little weird, so bear with me for a second. Side 1 is still going to be side 1 of Zeppelin 1 because, let's face it, Good Times, Bad Times is the best way to introduce Led Zeppelin. And this is still their metaphorical debut album. So, making their debut album a double album. We're starting off with Good Times, Bad Times, going through all that. This is where it gets a little bit weird. We're going to have side 2 be actually side 2 of Led Zeppelin 2, which is going to sound weird, but going straight into Heartbreaker as your the first song on side 2 is a really cool idea. And then going through the rest of those songs. And then we're going to swap over to side 3 is going to be side 1 of Led Zeppelin 2. So basically we got side 1 of Led Zeppelin 1 and then Led Zeppelin 2 played in reverse. You get The Whole Lot of Love, ending up with Thank You as the last song on side 3, and then side 4 we're going to have side 2 of Led Zeppelin 1, so that we have, it's weird that we have the title track Communication Breakdown coming in so late, but that's just how I want this album to go. And honestly, I want side 2 of Led Zeppelin 1 to be the closer, because let's face it, how many more times is the perfect album closer? So that's going to be Led Zeppelin Communication Breakdown in our second double album. Our third double album, let's go with some Billy Joel. I'm going to keep the title of The Stranger, but it's going to be a combination of Billy Joel's albums The Stranger and 52nd Street, because those were released back-to-back and sound very similar, and they'd make a great double album. I'm going to go with the order being The Stranger, side 1. Then we have 52nd Street, side 1, 52nd Street, side 2, and then finally The Stranger, side 2, so that we close with that Everybody Has a Dream in the reprise of The Stranger's theme. And the cover art will just keep with the original Stranger cover art, but adding in those 52nd Street songs on side 2, it means you'd be going straight from Italian Restaurant to Big Shot in My Life, and so you're getting a lot of hits back to back. So that's Billy Joel, The Stranger, the double album version. And our third double album. Our fourth double album, let's go with Creedence Clearwater Revival. I know that was one that was mentioned in the sample video, but I'm going to be choosing different albums. I'm going to be going with Bayou Country and Green River, and the name of the album is going to be Rolling on the River. We're going to start off with Bayou Country, side 1, so you get Born on the Bayou as your kickoff track. You get Graveyard Train, and then you flip the record over, and this is where it's going to get weird, like really, really weird. We're going to go with Green River, side 2, as the side 2, so that you go straight from Graveyard Train into Bad Moon Rising, and then The Nighttime Is the Right Time is going to be the last song on side 2. Side 3 is going to be Green River, side 1. That might sound really weird, but that's how it's going. Gonna start off with Green River and end off with Wrote a Song for Everyone. And then the final side is going to be Bayou Country, side 2, so that we get Proud Mary and then Keep on Chugglin' as the closer. And that will be the fourth album. We're on our fifth and final album, and I'm going to go with Boston. The album is just going to be called Boston, but I'm going to nickname it The Only Boston Album You're Ever Gonna Need, because, let's face it, this is the only Boston album you're ever going to need. It's consisting of their debut and Don't Look Back, and metaphorically, this is the only Boston album they ever made. And it's just Boston and Don't Look Back played back to back, and we'll keep the cover art from the first Boston album. Oh, I forgot to mention the cover art for Rolling on the River by CCR. I'm going to go with picture the band posing for a photo on a riverboat rolling down the Mississippi River. That's what that is. So those are my 5. To recap, we have Rush, Closer to the Heart, Led Zeppelin, Communication Breakdown, Creedence Clearwater Revival, Rolling on the River, Billy Joel, The Stranger, and Boston, the only Boston album you will ever need. Alright, that is my submission for the contest. Thank you very much.